First with breaking news. First with new information. 19 News starts now with a first alert for severe weather.
Well, the pictures from the 19 First Alert camera network certainly tell the story. Smoke filling the air, creating air quality hazards. 19 News First at 4 and streaming on 19 News Plus has continuing coverage on this developing weather story. Thanks for joining us First at 4. I'm Nicole Versansky. Brian is off today. The 19 News studios were actually downtown, and the smell of the smoke is so strong. That's why we're doing the newscast today here in the newsroom. Today and tomorrow and Saturday, they are First Alert weather days. 19 First Alert meteorologist Erica Page joining us now with Cleveland's most accurate forecast. When is this going to start to move out, Erica?
Yeah, so this is going to take a little bit of time to finally clear Northeast Ohio. I mean, you take this live look from our Oberlin camera. If you hadn't stepped outside, you would think we were just blanketed under a lot of fog. But no, this is all that thick wildfire smoke that mixed down to the surface and is why we're dealing with such terrible air quality across our entire viewing area. So, yes, we called this on Tuesday, 19 First Alert weather days, because we knew this was going to be a problem, not only today, but then we added tomorrow as well, because new data continue to point that we're likely going to be dealing with this same thick wildfire smoke even as we go through a majority of Friday. Now, as we get gradually into Friday evening, we should start to see this smoke lifting back up to our northeast, but instead we're opening up the door to a bigger pattern change. And while welcome, probably in some respects, so that we can finally get our breathing a little bit more adjusted back to normal here in Northeast Ohio, we are going to see an opportunity where storms could be strong to severe as that next cold front comes in for the start of your weekend. So that is something that we are going to keep close eyes on. Widespread, statewide air quality advisories issued yesterday for today because we knew that the air quality index would basically hit that hazardous point, and it has across a good majority of our area. Not to mention, it's causing issues with visibility too. I mean, you look all across Northeast Ohio, a lot of spots are only seeing visibility maybe half a mile to a mile at most, and other spots 2 miles at the best. We're going to walk you through this smoke tracker and where we're headed from here coming up in just a few minutes.
There's a lot happening weather-wise in the coming days with the air quality, with the incoming storms. Now is the perfect time to have the 19 First Alert weather app. Just scan this QR code. That way you can stay informed about the smoke, about the storms in the coming hours and days. This is a free download. Back to the smoke blanketing Northeast Ohio. You can see it. You can smell it, all from wildfires in Canada, about 100 of them burning as we speak. It is making it unhealthy for everyone to go outside. First at 4, Keith Grant joining us live from the Great Lakes Science Center. And Keith, you typically have a pretty nice view of the lake from there.
Yeah, not really much you can see from this angle, but the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame right behind us, typically that clear view to the rock, out to the lake, almost looks like a film over the window because of how thick the smoke is. And we're inside because of how unhealthy it is outside because of the smoke, causing those very unhealthy levels for pretty much everyone. You may remember this. We had something similar with this much smoke moving in June 2023, about 3 years ago, Nikki. Thick smoke blocking Cleveland's skyline Thursday. The smoke from Canadian wildfires moving in overnight, forcing closures in Northeast Ohio. The Akron Zoo shutting its gates early and the Rock Hall canceling Thursday night's concert. These brothers cut short a day of fishing they'd been looking forward to.
And don't be out here that long, so I can't go fishing.
The smoke bringing an orange hue to the sun, a sign Dr. Jeremiah Escajeda says it's extremely unhealthy to be outside. What's the point of when somebody should go to the hospital?
Any sort of shortness of breath should not be ignored.
Escajeda with Metro Health says it can get serious fast for some people.
It can be minutes, particularly if you have underlying conditions. If you are an oxygen-dependent person who has asthma or COPD or heart disease, it doesn't take very long for you to start getting, worsening shortness of breath.
Escajeda's advice, simply stay indoors until the smoke clears this weekend. Just like these brothers who aren't risking a day at the lake.
Yeah, I'm gonna go home, open up studio, play some drums and guitars with the air conditioning on.
right, we know it's hard to stay indoors for a full day or even the next 2 days. So Escada says if you do go outside, you want to use one of these. You might remember them, an N95 mask. This is the only mask that will block the smoke particles. They're so small that even a surgical mask, like what you would get at a drugstore, wouldn't block those particles. So only an N95 mask will block those particles in the smoke if you do have to go outside these next few days. Live in Cleveland, Keith Grant, 19 News.
All right, Keith, thank you. We actually spoke to some local drugstores. There's been a run on those masks today. You probably imagined that. We want to see your smoke pictures. If you can safely take a picture, scan this QR code, use it to upload your pictures. You can see them here on air or on cleveland19.com with all our smoky weather first alert coverage. All right, now to the other big story we have been following, the cyclosporiasis outbreak. It is growing. So 19 News, we're teaming up with Metro Health to answer your questions about symptoms, about treatment, about, more importantly, how to protect your family. Dan DeRose joins us with what we want to know about this so-called produce parasite. I think that's the nicest way we can say it, Dan.
Yeah, that's the way to put it. We're here in the library at Metro Health. I'm joined by Dr. Melissa Jenkins, as we have been all afternoon, and will continue to be. Let's get to a couple more questions. This one from Kathy. We're going to alter this just a little bit. How long before symptoms show up? And that's part of the problem here.
So it can be as short as 2 days, as long as 14 days.
And why does that present a problem?
So if we're looking for a source and we think it's coming from food, it's hard to remember what you ate 2 weeks ago. So it's more difficult to pinpoint out of all those things what the source could have been.
And that's part of tracking this is you fill out a food diary. What did you have for lunch yesterday, 2 days ago, 2 weeks ago? Heck, I have no idea what I had 2 weeks ago.
Exactly.
Let's then go to her actual question from Kathy D. How long does it take for the parasite to then leave the body?
It's different for everybody. In some people, the illness resolves on its own without any treatment. In more prolonged cases, antibiotics can treat the infection, and they're given for 7 days. And
you said in some cases, and Nicole asked us about this earlier, it can go away and you can have a reoccurrence. What's
Correct.
going on there?
So the symptoms can get better because the cyclospora lives in a cyst. That cyst can start off a new infection after the symptoms go away.
And we were talking about that cyst. It's sort of protecting itself. The parasite is in your body. Its one job is to make you sick and for it to survive. And so that's why it can hide in the body. It's trying to protect itself, and it can come on again. I feel really bad for people who have it come back.
Yes. Yeah.
And talk about treatment. It is treatable. We're talking about a simple antibiotic.
Correct. It's treatable with trimethoprim sulfamethoxazole, commonly known as Bactrim. And it's a 7-day treatment course. That's
not bad at all. If you have questions, we want to hear from you. Go to our live stream on our Facebook page or on our YouTube, or you can email us questions. Your Health. We created a whole new email just for this. yourhealth@WOIO.com. Ashley from our digital desk is making sure we get to your questions. Most of the questions will be answered on our digital platforms. We can only get to a couple here on Channel 19, but we'll continue that discussion, and we'll see you back here at Metro Health in a bit.
All right, Dan, we'll see you soon. All right, now to this. Take a look at your screen. Thieves caught in the act, desperately trying to pry open that cash drawer. And that surveillance video that you just saw helped blow this case wide open. Now, police say a notorious safe-cracking duo that has been terrorizing local businesses is finally behind bars and facing dozens of charges. Only on 19, Catherine Huntley has the story.
All is quiet long after closing time at Ray's Diner in East Canton back on June 23rd, until this bad actor walks into frame. Watch as a masked man ransacks the room, opening every cupboard and drawer in search of a payday. He vanishes for a moment, then returns to target the cash register. Seconds later, an accomplice joins in. When prying open the drawer fails, he decides to just rip the entire cash drawer out. They end up taking multiple cash drawers with them. Total haul, $1,200. But they didn't get to enjoy the spoils for long. Police say they tracked down and arrested this man, 49-year-old Patrick Hoover of the Strasburg area. And get this, Ray's Diner was just the tip of the iceberg. Police say Hoover went on a crime spree across Stark County. Since mid-June, detectives say he hit 4 other businesses, cracking safes and stealing more than $10,000. Police also handcuffed Hoover's alleged accomplice, 52-year-old Janet Wilson of Canton. Court documents show Wilson participated in nearly all of the break-ins. Law enforcement across the county spotted the pattern, connected the dots, and closed in. The pair is accused of hitting the Red Dog Saloon, the New Deal, Ray's Diner, and even tried to break into the AmVets Post 124.
It was just good police work. It was, departments communicating with each other and kind of being able to work together to formulate suspects. And I think everybody involved did a great job with it.
Hoover alone is now facing 47 criminal charges and Wilson 14. Now police are urging other local business owners to tighten up their security.
Burglar alarms are great, with motion detectors and things like that. That's definitely something that, it offers a strong defense to businesses, as well as not leaving large amounts of cash around. Make sure those drops go into the bank. At the end of the day, I think that's something that's, criminals look for. It's easy access. They're going to take it.
Wilson will face a judge in Massillon Municipal Court tomorrow morning to answer for the spree. In Cleveland, Catherine Huntley, 19 News.
A statewide air quality alert for that thick smoke coming in from Canada. It is not good for any of us to breathe. We're heading back out to Metro Health Medical Center. 19 Data journalist Dan DeRose, he's been talking about the produce parasite, but now we're going to talk a little bit about these air quality alerts. Medical experts answering the questions. These are the questions that our viewers want answered, Dan.
And our doctor from the emergency department has not quite made it to talk about the air quality. So we're going to continue on our conversation about Cyclospora. Let's talk about the source. And that's what the FDA and everybody is trying to figure out. How does this work? What's the work they're doing to try and figure out where this is coming from?
So part of it is interviewing cases and taking a thorough diet history of everything they've eaten in the last 2 weeks. The second part is doing some diagnostics to look to see whether it's the same strain in all of the cases, and that can help to match up to see whether it's from one source or maybe more than one source.
So that goes back to when somebody gets tested, it's a stool sample, and now you said those are being analyzed and compared, like in the state of Ohio. What can that tell you?
It can tell whether they're related to one source of an outbreak or potentially more than one source, or unrelated cases.
In your expertise, do we think this is one source, this is one vegetable or one berry, or do we know yet?
I think it's too early to say. Based on the past outbreaks of Cyclospora, it's probably one, but it could be a farm that grows multiple different produce.
And that was the next question is this taking too long? Should we know by now?
It's a very tedious process to do all these investigations. One of the problems with Cyclospora is it can be 2 weeks before someone shows symptoms. So it's a greater number of investigations that have to be done into what they do.
Because I think everybody is kind of sitting here saying, what do I eat, what do I not eat, why don't we know yet? And you're saying when it comes to E. coli cases of salmonella, this is how it plays out, unfortunately.
It takes some time and good detective work.
Excellent. As I said, we are expecting an emergency room doctor to join us to talk about the air quality. We've got some questions that have come in about that as well. If you want to send us an email about the smoke in the air, do that. We have created a special email just for this. It is yourhealth, YOURHEALTH, at WOIO.com. So yourhealth@WOIO.com. And again, we're answering the majority of these questions on our stream, continuous stream on our Facebook page and on the Cleveland 19 YouTube page. But we'll check back in with you in a few minutes and we'll see if we can get that emergency room doctor. They're very busy. We're not cutting into their time.
I would imagine so. All right, Dan, talk to you soon. Well, tech giant Meta is rolling out new safety features to help protect teens using its AI chatbot. So these new tools include an alert to parents if their teen discusses suicide or self-harm with Meta AI. Now, parents do have to opt in and then select which Instagram, Facebook, or other account that they want to supervise. Meta says it'll even send an alert if the intent is not exactly clear.
If the AI chatbot identifies that there is a sensitive conversation happening and that teen may be at risk, a human will actually review it, and then they will send you an alert as a parent if they think there is something that you need to be aware of.
Parents are also going to receive expert resources to help them bring up these difficult conversations with their teens. The company is also developing ways to alert emergency services if someone of any age appears to be at immediate risk of suicide. Now to your top 4 at 4. The big story today is the smoke. There are 19 first alert weather days today and tomorrow because of the wildfires in Canada. There are numerous cancellations in our area because of the hazardous air quality. Cities around the northern United States are dealing with these extreme conditions. Cleveland City Council passed an emergency ordinance that unanimously objected to renewing Town Hall's license in Ohio City. The Division of Liquor Control will have to review that license. The agency can deny a license if the owner is convicted of a felony. Bobby George, he owns Town Hall and has a recent conviction for attempted strangulation. We have reached out to him for a comment, but have not yet heard back. Caught on camera, a man accused of cracking safes and breaking into several local businesses. So this is inside Ray's Diner in East Canton. You can see one man trying to pry open the cash register. Investigators believe that's Patrick Hoover. He's facing more than 40 charges for reportedly hitting 5 businesses, stealing more than $10,000 in Stark County. Now, the second person in this video, police say that's Janet Wilson, has also been arrested as well. Wayne County Sheriff K-9 Vic is still recovering after being shot earlier this month in that deadly Rittman attack. Well, he's now getting laser therapy at Cleveland Road Animal Hospital in Worcester, a treatment that uses light to reduce inflammation, ease pain, and speed healing. This video is when he was released from the animal hospital a little more than a week ago now. There's still no timeline for when Vic could return to duty. But any donations, checks, cash, money orders, they can be made out to the Wayne County Sheriff's Office K-9 Fund. Breaking at this hour, a major water main break in West Hollywood, California. Look at how bad this is. The water is just rushing down the street. It was early this morning, 5 a.m. our time. We're told what you're looking at actually lasted for nearly 3.5 hours. Water just gushing down the street. The water also caused a sinkhole to open. City officials say there's really no timeline right now for when these repairs are going to be able to be made. Also breaking in Florida, 2 Hillsborough County deputies and a suspect have been shot in Ruskin. Both deputies were flown to Tampa General Hospital. One had been shot in the face and the other in the neck. The suspect was also taken to the hospital. That person has died.
Now your 19 First Alert forecast. Certified most accurate since 2004.
All right, continuing coverage now as we take a live look outside those smoky skies across our area. It is a 19 First Alert weather day because of the hazardous air quality. Then tomorrow, the same thing. And Saturday, the risk of severe storms. 19 First Alert meteorologist Erica Page joins us now with the latest. It's been busy, Erica.
Yeah, to say the least. And you know, our weather team has been talking throughout this newscast about kind of the 2023 event that we saw compared to now. At the worst, on June 28th of 2023, our air quality across parts of Northeast Ohio was only at very unhealthy. I believe the specific AQI, or how we measure those numbers, was in that 285 range. We've been in the 500s. Just to put this into perspective, when you're comparing a few years ago in the wildfire smoke compared to what we are seeing now. So this is a huge impact to all of us, all of our breathing quality here, especially as we go through the next 24 hours. And we will get a pattern shift that will happen once we get into Saturday, but it's going to take some time to really see that bring about those bigger changes that I think all of us are looking forward to now at this point. Air quality advisories still remain in effect for everybody. Again, levels have been hazardous today, and for good reason. I mean, this wildfire smoke is extremely thick as it continues to settle into our area. We want to remind you, please, please, please limit some of that time outside. When you are in your vehicle, make sure that you are recirculating the air. You are not bringing it in from outside, because that's just bringing in that less than desirable air quality. And know that we still have to get through tomorrow before those smoky skies will improve. I'll walk you through the latest on your smoke tracker coming up here in just a few minutes.
All right, 19 News bringing you continuing coverage of the air quality issues. If you were planning on taking your kids to a pool or some sort of outdoor summer camp, maybe a sports activity, a lot of things have been canceled today. Some concerts have been canceled as well, or some things have been moved indoors. So just make sure you are aware and you call and check ahead. And of course, the 19 First Alert weather team is all over this. You can tune in tonight at 7:30 to our sister station, My 43. Plus, streaming on 19 News Plus, you can join Tiffany and the gang for Cleveland's only all-weather show. All right, now to the other big story impacting Northeast Ohio. This cyclosporiasis outbreak, it continues to evolve. We want to check back in now with Dan DeRose. He's been getting questions and answers at Metro Health from the doctors, from the experts on what families can do starting tonight to cut their risk.
Yeah, joined again by Dr. Melissa Jenkins. You can see the questions that we've been getting to, and we'll tell you again coming up how to get your questions in. Let's get to some of the culprits that we've seen. E. coli, salmonella outbreaks in the past always seem to have to do with lettuce, tomatoes, you mentioned raspberries. Mm-hmm. What is it about those that are so susceptible?
So they're all things that we tend to eat raw and not cooked, and things that are difficult to wash. With raspberries, we talked about earlier, having the little divots and the little cup that's difficult to clean out. Lettuce can be difficult to rinse, all the little nooks and crannies. So I think those are often why those are implicated.
I mean, you get a whole head of lettuce that has the leaves wrapped up in it. Mm-hmm. Okay, so somebody's going to say, oh, I'll protect my family. I'm just going to go get the bagged lettuce, and it's going to say that it's pre-washed on that. Mm-hmm. That's not a guarantee here.
It is not a guarantee, and it is recommended that even if it says pre-wash, to still do your own washing as well. And remember, we don't know what the source of this outbreak is yet, so the bagged lettuce is just as risky as the head lettuce.
And when it comes to, we talked about this earlier, we heard tips early in the outbreak using vinegar. Your response to that?
It wouldn't hurt, but there's no scientific evidence to prove that that's better than just using a longer wash with water, at least 1 minute.
We can get to, let's see, one of our questions here from Marty C. He said, this is interesting. We talked about the one antibiotic that's being used now is Bactrim. What other antibiotics can be treated, you can be treated with if you're allergic to Bactrim? And this is from Marty C.
So Bactrim is a sulfa drug, and lots of people are a little allergic to it. Unfortunately, there's no other alternative drug that's effective. If it was a severe case of cyclospora, there are ways that we can desensitize someone to that antibiotic.
But you said that's pretty extreme. That would have to be an extreme case.
An extreme case, for sure.
Excellent. Dr. Jenkins, again, coming up in our next hit here, we're going to have an emergency room doctor talk about our air quality. We're going to sort of turn this into two topics into one as we are here live at Metro Health. You can get your questions in at yourhealth@woio.com, or go to our stream on Facebook right now and you can get your questions in live. We'll have a lengthy conversation with Dr. Escajeda, and that'll be coming up.
All right, Dan, thank you. Let's go to West Park now, where a community, a family, has spent 15 years turning heartbreak into action. First at 4, Isabella Roberts introduces us to the 5-year-old boy who's giving them a brand new reason to run.
Patrick Joyce was a West Park kid, a St. Edward's grad who died unexpectedly his freshman year of college. His childhood friend Jason Salupo never forgot him.
I remember talking about why Pat, why are we wanting him? Obviously he was a buddy of ours, but he's just one of those souls that if you didn't like Pat, you're probably the issue. He's just that good of a guy. So
Patrick was just 18 years old when he died in his sleep. No warning signs, no explanation. Doctors now believe it was a genetic heart rhythm disorder. At the time, no one nearby knew CPR, and there was no AED on his dorm floor. Now his friends and family come back to West Park every year, raising awareness for CPR and AED training, and to make sure it never happens to someone else. This year, the race's 15th is honoring a little boy who knows something about fighting for his life. 5 years old, 2 open heart surgeries, 3 strokes.
Terrifying. Yes, it is terrifying, especially with him being our first, and our family has no history of heart conditions.
PJ O'Toole was born with congenital heart disease. While his condition differs from Patrick's, both boys share a heart rhythm disorder and something else. The same name, the same family doctor, and now the same community rallying around them.
It almost seemed too good to be true that something aligns this well with, to a degree, what we've gone through with PJ here.
Salupo says the connection has given this year's race new life.
These full circle things, I think, is what keeps this thing going. That's the momentum that's been driving it.
And PJ has a message for you tonight.
I'm on Saturday to West Park Station for the 15th annual Patrick Joyce 5K run.
Well, you heard PJ. The race is on Saturday and starts at 8:30 in the morning here at West Park Station. And there's still time to register. For more details, head to our website, cleveland19.com. In Cleveland, Isabella Roberts, 19 News.